All right, well, I said I'd do a follow-up whenever this thing was coated, so, well, here it is. Fresh epoxy laid on her, nice and wet. Hopefully she keeps this gloss look. The roof is the only thing I'm not sure if it'll keep the gloss. It was really hard to lay it on wet up there while leaning over and not falling and keeping it even. I was trying to keep my balance and everything. That's why a rotisserie would be nice, right? Anyways, so I used my DeVilbiss Harbor Freight knockoff, which is pretty much a clone of the DeVilbiss starting line guns. I'll show it to you in a sec in case anyone's curious. They're pretty good spray guns. You can tell they're definitely not quite as good at the machine work as the DeVilbiss, but they spray about the same. So I use it for epoxy since epoxy is pretty harsh and it's a pain in the ass to clean, and I'd rather throw away my $40, I think they were 40 bucks, Harbor Freights than my $150 DeVilbiss starting line kit. But anyways, this laid out nice and glossy. I like the way it looks. But the doors are coated inside and out. I wish I would have done a video earlier. So I stripped these doors the other day with grinder / paint stripper disc. These things already had surface rust on them by today, and they were stripped yesterday afternoon. I went through and scuffed them with a DA and went and removed the rust again. Wax, grease, removed everything. There's a little dip right here. You can probably see in the light right there. You can see where it's got the little hump. That's where I did some body work. I didn't spend a whole lot of time fixing that. I'll end up doing it later when I actually paint the thing. And there's little bits of trash here and there, like right there. Like I said, I'll fix it later when I actually paint. I didn't do a whole lot of preventative in the shop. I swept it out, blew it out, blew the car off, let it all settle, blew it out again, let it all settle, blew it out again. Then I waxed and grease removed the whole car, and then I went over it with a tack rag. But I mean, I sprayed with the door open. I've got that venting out. I've got that window open just to allow airflow through. But it's not a paint booth. I mean, I've got shit everywhere. It's stuff that dust accumulates all over the place. I don't have a paint booth, so later on when I have access to a paint booth, which I might be able to in the future, but right now my focus was to just get epoxy on it and hopefully have it matching the way the fenders look, which is that black gloss. If it doesn't show glossy tomorrow when this is flash dry, well, I wouldn't say more than flash dry, but whenever this is dried to the touch, you can recoat over this epoxy within, I don't know if it's 48 hours or like a week. It's pretty long anyways that you can recoat this without having scuff. If it doesn't show gloss, I'll mix another coat of epoxy and coat it again and lay it on a little bit more wet. But the doors look like they are gonna be nice and glossy. This cowl looks like it's gonna be nice and glossy. The roof is the only thing I'm kind of sketch about. There's a couple areas that look a little matte, like right there. You can see that little dull spot. Right above where the light is right now. Yeah, a couple areas of the roof look a little dull. These quarters, maybe they're not quite as shiny. I tried to lay it on pretty wet, but I didn't want to end up with a run like I did before on this, which you can see where I didn't sand it all out. Let's see if I can catch it in the light. I can't get it to show. There it is, right there, those dips. Yeah, I forgot, I didn't sand those out all the way. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, that's where I had some fish shine before. And it looks like I might have a little bit here too, where I sprayed it on before it had a chance to flash. Recoated it too soon. That's what causes that, I believe, is just not having enough time to gas off. It's what me and fireman ended up determining when we were fighting this SPI epoxy. He did way more troubleshooting than I did, but I just kind of adjusted my gun and played with it a little bit and found that if you lay it on a light coat, let it flash, and then come over it with a wet coat, it does a lot better. Just don't recoat it so quickly. And don't lay a wet coat on right off the bat. But this tail panel looks like it's gonna be glossy. So I'm happy. That means I can button up my tail end, I can put my trunk on, or trunk lid, I can get my tail lights in, I can wire them, test them, make sure my brakes light them up, obviously. I don't remember if I mentioned, but I ordered new reverse lights. I ordered new front running lights. The only thing I didn't order were the side markers, which I have right here, and I already painted black. But I think I showed it in the last video. Yeah, JB welded out the ass to hold a stud in. Ghetto. That was the people that, you know, restored the car before me. So I'll end up eventually replacing those as well, but for the time being, I'm going to try to make them work because those things are expensive. I think I also mentioned that in the last video. They're like 160 bucks for the pair, which is not really in the budget right now because I'm already digging into my credit card. Yeah, so I also got this in. This. That is a Spectre low profile bonnet. We're gonna see if that clears the hood scoop thing. Too bad I already cut the hole in the hood. It would have been nice to have that before to see if it would have cleared without cutting the hood. Now I have more work to do. I'll need to fab up that little makeshift hood scoop I have here and get it on and body worked quickly and epoxy primed because everything I'm just rolling epoxy with. So I'm trying to get this thing ready to roll for cruising, which is about a month and a half away, roughly. I forgot what today's date is. I think it's like the 18th or 19th of August. So yeah, about a month and 10 days. All right, that's it. Epoxy coated. And like I said, tomorrow I'll come out and check it, see if it looks glossy. If there's anywhere that's not glossy, I'll recoat, because this door actually doesn't look glossy. I think that's because my gun, I sprayed this last and my gun started to run dry, so it wasn't laying on nice even coats. This one was more so. So I'll probably end up spraying again tomorrow. But all right, later guys.